Hello girls, sanibonani mantombazane. Welcome to another lesson of our IsiZulu workbook. This week we're on page 43, 44 and 45. Last week we worked on page 41 and 42, which introduced us to the new concept of asking questions. Do we remember these? Last week we worked on what am I doing? Ngenzani. And what are you doing? Wenzani. And I gave you some examples of what the actions that they're doing. If you don't have your book with you, I wrote some of the words up at the top for you so you can see the translation into IsiZulu as I did on page 41 as well. This week, as I said, we're on page 40. We're going to start on page 43 and go through to page 45 because we've already now gotten used to how to ask and answer the questions, right? We did only 2 pages last week, so this week I think we can do 3 pages. It will go a little bit quicker than last week because it was still new to us last week. So I think we're capable of 3 pages this week. Let's look at the type of questions that they have for us on page 43. Here we've got senzani. Senzani. What are we doing? So we're asking ourselves this question like, oh, what are we doing? And siya. Siya is we are. Siya, we are. And then the action. Do you remember that gijima is to run? So siya gijima. We are running. Right. So let's have a look at these actions in pictures. What do we think these people are doing? So this week I've only written the new translations of the words that I did not translate last week. So if we've got an action here that we had last week as well, I'm not going to write it up here again. I would like for you to try to remember it, or if you can't and you're struggling, look back at last week's notes or further back into your book and try to find the translation. Something like this one. They are walking. We didn't have it last week. I think we all know what walk is, but I've written it up here. It's hamba, and we have one for drinking, which is puza. Here we've got people, I think they are talking. Do we remember what talking is? When I am talking, ngiya kuluma, right? Ngiya kuluma. We've got it in last week's examples. Talk is kuluma. We had this girl that was talking over here on page 42. So now this week we've got 2 people talking to each other. I didn't write it up there. I need you to try to remember these words. Okay, so senzani, what are we doing? Siya gijima, or whatever action it is. Remember, this is not the answer for all the questions. All your answers will start with siya because the question is about us. What are we doing? Senzani, 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 senzani. So all of it will have the answer. The answer will start with siya and the action. Remember, one word. Okay. So if we remember how we did it last week, they've written the Zulu question for us. Underneath, we're going to write the English question. Right. Let me do the first one here. What are we doing? Let's not get lost. The example is right here in this lovely block for us. Senzani, what are we doing? Senzani, what are we doing? And your answer is going to start with your Zulu answer. You can write it next to the senzani. You can write siya. And what do we think these people are doing? They look like they're fighting, but let's look at their faces. They're fighting over this lovely little teddy bear. but their faces show us that they are crying. Now, what is crying again? If we can try to remember, let's look at last week. Cry is khala. So, siyakhala. Right? Because it's talking about two people. It's not one person. Remember last week we had one person crying. Wenzani. And the person was answering, I am. It was about one person. So today we've got two people. What are we doing? It's we are. Niyakhala. Full stop. And underneath we write the English answer. We are crying. Okay. And you're going to do the other three for me by yourselves. That was what are we doing? And its answer. On page 44, we've got what are you all doing? It's a dialogue. Now we've got somebody asking different group of people, right? What are you all doing? And the other people will be answering. We are playing. So the question is, nenzani. What are you all doing? Nenzani. And the people will respond, siyadlala, or whatever it is they're doing. Remember, this is just an example. Do not put this whole word or sentence as your answer. We just want this part, siya. Siya, and the new action that our pictures will be doing. Siya, we are. Okay, don't get confused. Siya and the action. If maybe I am walking, we are walking, not I. This page is about a group of people. If we are walking, it will be siyahamba. And it will be one word. It won't be siyadlala. Siyadlala. Dlala is for playing, which is the example of this picture. So we're going to do the same thing on this page. And on page 45, our last page for this week, now we're talking about other people. We're not talking to them, we're talking about them. What are they all doing? And somebody else will answer, they are doing something. Okay. The question is, benzani. Benzani. What are they doing? Benzani is about them. What are they all doing? And baya, this is our keyword. This is how our answers will all start for page 45. Baya, and the action will come. They are. Baya means they are. Benzani, what are they all doing? Baya, and the action. So let's look at one and see. Here's a lovely one that I'm pretty sure we all know. They look like they're reading to me. So we all know that reading is funda. Yes, I'm pretty sure you all got it right. Read is funda. So our Zulu answer here will be baya funda. Right. And underneath you're going to write the English one. They are all reading. Remember to write the English question here so that we get used to what the question is. Benzani. We get used to what it means. And try to, as I encourage you every week, try to say the words out as you write them so that you get familiar with saying them and pronouncing them and saying the sentences out loud. Okay, so those are our pages for this week, 43. We've got our examples up there of the words you might not know or have forgotten. Drink and walk, which are hamba and puza. And then on page 44, we've got our new example, which is to laugh, and that is hleka. On page 45, our new example is write, bala. Okay, so if we look here, These people are writing. These people are drawing. Okay, we had a drawing one last week. If you go back and look at it, try and find what the Zulu word was for drawing. Have a look and see. I'm also trying to encourage you girls to write these words somewhere. If you don't have your book with you and you are working off of worksheets, try to have a little book where you can write these words down so that when you do need them, you can access them all together. And that's part of us practicing how to write and to say the words. Okay, so that we try to remember them and we familiarize ourselves with them even more. Okay, so enjoy doing these, girls. 43, 44, and 45. I hope you've been staying well and you keep well and safe. Continue to keep safe. And that's it for this week. Salani kahle mantombazana.